From Mulcahy Stadium in downtown Anchorage, Alaska, it is game number 28 as your Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks take on the Anchorage Glacier Pilots here tonight. A very pleasant Monday evening to you all, and welcome to Chinooks Baseball. I am Andrew Alex. Alongside me, my broadcast partner, the best broadcast voice in all the state of Ohio, Garrett Mansfield. And we are here tonight as the Fish have come in, dropping two straight and find themselves below the 500 mark, but look to get back in their winning ways here at Mulcahy, where they are undefeated on the season this year. Tonight, they send out Lucas Hamelink to the mound, and he will take on Drew Jacobs for the Pilots. But let's get right into the starting lineups as we are about to get underway here at Mulcahy. The batting order for the Chinooks first, leading off and playing third base, Patrick Cromwell. The designated hitter, Matt Ferrudo, will be batting second. Batting third, the left fielder, Cam Baronic. Batting fourth, the catcher, Tyler Boxwell. Playing center field and batting fifth, Dave Morton. Playing right field and batting sixth, Caleb Potter. Batting seventh and playing first base, Holt Davis. The shortstop, batting eighth, Hunter Hanks. And in the 9-hole, the second baseman, Will Bass. In the field for the Pilots, Drew Jacobs pitching. The catcher is Gunnar Trautwein. Third base, Alberto Carrillo. Corby Batesel at short. Carson Kreitz at second. Kevin Veers at first. Johnny Locker in left field. Luke Hamblin in center. And in right field will be Jack Anderson. So Patrick Cromwell steps into the box, getting ready to lead things off for the Chinooks here this evening. The umpire says play ball. The first pitch of this ball game, taken on the outside, ball one. Sunny skies, but clouds coming in behind us and a little bit of light rain, sun showers here. Pitch. And Cromwell grounds that sharply back to the pitcher, Jacobs, who tosses it over to Kevin Veers at first for the first out of the inning. So a 1-3 ground out to start things off with the Fish tonight. And that's going to bring up Matt Ferrudo. Ferrudo comes into this game batting .253 on the year, 11 RBIs. Back on Sunday when the Chinooks took on the Matsu Miners, Matt Ferrudo went 2 for 4 on the day. First pitch from Jacobs, and that's grounded high. And Kreitz picks it up, tosses it to first on the hop. So a one-pitch second at-bat of this game. And now the rain's starting to come down a little bit harder. But the sun also still shining. Kind of a weird weather situation that we have going on here this evening at Mulcahy. But 2 down, nobody on. Top of the first inning, Cam Baronic to the plate, first pitch. And Baronic fouls that one. Back over the backstop, strike one.
You know, the last time we saw Drew Jacobs, it was a tough luck outing for him. Went 6 innings in relief. Gave up 1 earned run. The only earned run he's given up all year, and got the loss in that one.
0-1 pitch from Jacobs, taken high and outside. Ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Cam Baronic comes into this game, a 6-game hit streak. Batting .286 on the year. The 1-1 pitch taken upstairs, ball 2. And Baronic, it's been evident what his contributions mean to the Chinooks. Has reached base in every single Alaska Baseball League contest he has played in. 2-1 coming from Jacobs. And Baronic fouls that one sky high back over the plate. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. The Chinooks wearing their dark blue jerseys. The Pilots with their light blue jerseys. 2-2 pitch, and that's taken outside, ball 3. So a full count here, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A scoreless game here in the top of the first. The 3-2. And Baronic lifts that one to center field, going back as Hamblin, and he's going to be under it to make the grab for the third out of the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning for Drew Jacobs to start things off for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. The Fish, no runs on no hits, nobody left aboard. So now let's look at the lineups this evening for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Leading off for the Pilots, the center fielder, Luke Hamblin. Batting second, the shortstop, Corby Batesel. In the 3-hole, the right fielder, Jack Anderson. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Kevin Veers. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Alberto Carrillo. Batting 6th, the designated hitter, Joe Wainhouse. Batting 7th, the catcher, Gunnar Troutwine. Playing left field and batting 8th will be Johnny Locker. And in the 9 hole, the second baseman, Carson Kreitz. The Fish send Lucas Hamelink to the mound this evening, and Hamelink comes in sporting a .75 ERA against the Pilots this season. He's allowed 7 hits over 12 innings of work and struck out 9 against the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. And Lucas, a guy who hasn't pitched since back on July 4th against the Peninsula Oilers in a game where he looked incredibly impressive, but 2 hit batters ended up coming around to score 2 runs, and Hamelink ended up taking the loss in that one. But Lucas, out of Hillsdale College, teammates with Shane Armstrong, talking yesterday about how his mechanics have just improved big time since coming to the Chinooks this summer. Also works as the warm-up catcher for the Chinooks. I like to mention that as much as I can.
Of course, on his off day, guy that does it all.
All right, so Hamelink warming up, and the Glacier Pilots come into this contest 11-15 on the year. Yesterday, they played a doubleheader with the Matsu Miners, splitting in 2 games that ended with a final score of 1-0. But for the Glacier Pilots, fatigue possibly becoming a factor. They haven't had an off day since July 2nd, and they're not going to have one until the All-Star game. So Hamelink taking his warm-up pitches there. But a guy that, in his first appearance this season against the Glacier Pilots, 5 innings of no-hit ball, ended up leading the Chinooks to their first win of the season. But now Hamelink done with his warm-up pitches, and Luke Hamblin's going to step into the box to start things off for the Glacier Pilots. Tyler Boxwell just having a quick chat with Lucas as we are about to get the bottom of the first inning underway here. So Luke Hamblin, the center fielder, playing his college ball at UCF starting next season. 308 batting average on the year, 15 runs scored, 3 RBIs. First pitch from Hamelink, and that's taken upstairs, ball 1.
It'll be interesting to see how Hamelink comes out and tries to set the tone, because he hasn't pitched in a ball game for almost 9 days. Back on July 5th against the Oilers.
And Hamblin takes the 1-0 pitch there. In for a called strike. The count, 1 ball, 1 strike with nobody out here. A scoreless game. Bottom of the first inning. The 1-1 pitch from Hamelink. And breaking ball in the zone. A called strike 2. So the count 1-2 now. Hamblin, one of the few guys on the Glacier Pilots roster that can hit consistently. Here comes the 1-2 from Hamelink, and Hamblin gets that off the end of the bat, fouls it back over the Chinooks dugout, staying alive. The count still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out here, bottom of the first inning. One, 2. And that's taken upstairs. Evens the count up, 2 balls, 2 strikes, but nobody out here. And Hamblin is a guy who has done his share of damage to the Fish so far this season. Here comes the 2-2. And that is grounded sharply, foul down the first base line. But Luke Hamblin working Lucas Hamelink here in the first at-bat of this game. Hamelink sets, delivers the 2-2, and that one's ripped into right field. Under it, Caleb Potter sliding in there to make the grab. So 1 up, 1 down. Caleb Potter sliding in there, probably preventing a base hit, single, maybe a double if it gets past him. So Corby Bates over the plate. He'll be playing shortstop tonight from Fresno State University. In 25 at-bats this year, he's hitting a .160, 1 RBI, 1 run scored. First pitch, and Batesville lifts that one into deep right field. Under it is Caleb Potter, makes the grab for the second out of the inning.
And that's a good one, a good quick out for Hamelink. He had to work a bit to get Hamblin to fly out to right to lead off the bottom of this inning, but one pitch out, exactly what he wants to reestablish his kind of his quick working, I guess. They limit those pitches throughout the first inning.
Absolutely, Garen. Jack Anderson to the plate now. From Oregon State University. First pitch from Hamelink. Breaking ball in the zone. A called strike. Anderson on the year. A .238 batting average, 1 RBI for the Oregon State Beaver. The 0-1 from Hamelink, and that's ripped into center field, a base hit. Just right over the head of Hunter Hanks at short. So that's the first hit of the game for either side, and the first base runner for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, who now have a man on first. 2 outs for Kevin Veers. Kevin Veers playing in his second year with the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, batting .262 so far. 12 RBIs with 8 extra base hits. So Anderson takes his lead at first. And the first pitch from Hamelink taken on the outside, ball 1. And Veers last year, an all-league selection from the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. The 1-0. And that's ripped foul. Hard out of the reach of Patrick Cromwell. Made good contact, but was just in front of it there. So the count 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 down here in the bottom of the first, still scoreless. Hamelink looks to the catcher box ball for the sign. Sets, delivers the 1-1, and that's going to be way outside, ball 2. Hamelink, not the kind of guy that's going to strike a ton out. Two, 1. And that one just misses on the outside. So now Kevin Veers in a hitter's count, kind of a dangerous guy to have in a 3-1 count if you're the Chinooks. Because as forementioned, 8 extra base hits on the year. If he gets a hold of one, could easily put the Pilots in the lead, but he fouls the 3-1 pitch back. Makes the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Runner on first. Still scoreless, bottom of the first inning. A pair of flyouts to right, the first 2 outs, but then a single from Jack Anderson kept this inning alive. And Hamelink, the 3-2 pitch, runner goes, and that's going to be popped up in foul ground. Chasing it is Cam Baronic, but he's going to watch it sail towards the Chinook bullpen. Out of play. So staying alive in this at-bat is Kevin Veers, and like you mentioned before, Garrett, this was kind of not the at-bat that Hamelink was looking for. He's thrown quite a few pitches. 15 already.
And add that, so this is about pitch 22 coming out here. Just here in the first inning alone.
The 3-2. Runner goes again, and that's going to be taken on the outside, ball 4. So now men on first and second for the Glacier Pilots. The batter's going to be Abelderto Carrillo. Carrillo out of the University of Southern California. A 209 mark on the year. 4 RBIs, 3 runs scored. And he's been pretty much the everyday third baseman for the Glacier Pilots. And keeping you updated on the weather, the rain's starting to come down a little bit harder here at Mulcahy Field. First pitch from Hamelink, and that's low and in the dirt, ball 1.
But luckily, this field turf on the infield should not slow our pace down. But if it really starts to get raining, they might have to wait a little bit till it cools off. But so far, hasn't been a factor.
Want to know the count here, Hamelink? The 1-0, and that one's lifted deep. Sounds like he broke the bat. Chasing in is David Morton. He's going to watch it drop for a hit. Coming around third to score is Jack Anderson. and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. The first to strike here tonight, 1-0 the score. An RBI broken bat single from Adalberto Carrillo.
Got on the pop-up weekly, just a little deep from Morton in center. He just couldn't quite get to it.
It was kind of put in the perfect spot that Hunter Hanks couldn't run back from short, but David Morton set up so deep in center, just came in for a base hit. So now Joan Wainhouse to the plate. Wainhouse had an Ole Miss 205 mark on the year, 8 RBIs and a homer. First pitch to Wainhouse, a fastball called strike. Two outs, 2 men on. And the second pitch from Hamelink taken low by Joan Wainhouse. So evens the count up, 1 ball, 1 strike here with 2 outs. Kevin Veers is at second, Adalberto Carrillo at first. The score is 1-0 in favor of the Glacier Pilots with the big guy, Joe Wainhouse, at the plate. The 1-1. Big swing and a miss from Wainhouse, and it's the kind of swing that if you get a hold of one with that, he'll send the ball into another dimension. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Hamelink fighting to get out of this inning without any more damage being done. The 1-2 pitch, and that is grounded weakly to the second baseman, Will Bass. He picks it up and tosses it over to Holt Davis at first for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, 1 run on 2 hits, 2 men left aboard, and we have played 1 inning. And the Anchorage Glacier Pilots lead this one 1-0. We're going to step off for just a second here. But we'll be right back. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. And we're back here for the top of the second inning here at Mulcahy.
We wish.
Mulcahy Field, the score 1-0 Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Leading things off for the Fish here, Tyler Boxwell, first pitch. Fastball taken on the outside, ball 1.
Boxwell competed in a wiffle ball home run derby last night where he didn't win.
Did not win. Who won?
He got beat out by the kid, Luke Eichste.
The kid. Luke Eichste can do it all. He can pitch. He can hit wiffle balls. He can shoot basketballs from weird slopes. The count, 1 ball, 1 strike to Tyler Boxwell. Boxwell awaits the 1-1, and he fouls that one. Out of play down the left field line. Boxwell on the year, a .250 batting average, 7 RBIs, 4 doubles. To the master of disguise from Stephen F. Austin State University in Nacogdoches, Texas. The 1-2 pitch from Drew Jacobs, way upstairs and outside. Kind of jumping out of the glove of Gunnar Troutwine there, who had to pretty much extend his entire frame to grab that one. So 2-2 the count. Boxwell awaits, and that's going to be on the outside again. So the count moves 3 balls, 2 strikes. The Chinooks trail this one 1-0 to the Pilots. Trying to grab their first hit of this ball game. The 3-2 from Jacobs. And that's in there for a called strike 3. So Boxwell down looking to lead off the top of the second. And that's going to bring up Dave Morton. Morton from Xavier University in Cincinnati, Ohio, where they're currently playing the Midsummer Classic. 258 on the year, 5 RBIs, 1 home run. First pitch to Morton, taken on the outside, ball 1. Morton on Sunday against the Matsu Miners took an 0 for 3. And big swing from Morton there. He fouls that one out of play down the left field line. So 1 ball, 1 strike to David Morton. Jacobs and Morton grounds that one sharply to the shortstop, who makes the throw. So Corby Batesel makes the sharp throw to his Fresno State teammate, Kevin Beers, for the second out of the inning. So 2 up, 2 down, and that's going to bring up Caleb Potter. Potter, a 171 batting average on the year, 3 RBIs, but he doubled in his last game, so hopefully going to get in some kind of groove here tonight. Potter takes the first ball, low and outside. 1-0 the count with 2 outs here. Top of the first, 1-0 Glacier Pilots. The pitch from Jacobs, and Potter grounds that one on a hop. The second baseman, Kreitz, grabs it, makes the quick toss to first for the third out of the inning. So the Chinooks go down 1-2-3 again in the top of the second, and we have played 1.5. And the score is still 1-0 Anchorage Glacier Pilots. And let's check out the out-of-town scoreboard, what to expect here tonight in games already in progress. We are one of 3 games being played in the Alaska Baseball League tonight. One of them being played at Herman Brothers Field between the Matsu Miners and the Peninsula Oilers. And in that contest, the Oilers struck first. They had a 2-0 lead, but now it's the bottom of the 4th inning, and the Matsu Miners with a commanding 7-2 lead in that ball game. And up in Fairbanks at Groudon Memorial Park, looks like they haven't started yet.
Just read that they called that one due to rain. So they will not be
mind.
playing tonight. They'll have a doubleheader tomorrow.
Yeah, the Anchorage Glacier Pilots and the Anchorage Bucks and Alaska Gold Pen are supposed to play tonight, but the rain got the best of that one. But now Lucas Hamelink coming out to work his second inning. And he had to throw quite a few pitches in the bottom of the first. And that makes you worry about how long he can possibly go in this ball game if he doesn't get a couple of quick innings. But he's set to face Gunnar Troutwine, Johnny Loker, and Carson Kreitz. So Hamelink's warm-up is done. And stepping into the box, the catcher Gunnar Troutwine from Wichita State University. Wichita State, the school of a former Anchorage Glacier Pilot, current major leaguer Mike Pelfrey. The first pitch from Hamelink. Fastball finds the zone. A called strike 1. Troutwine on the year 167 with a trio of RBIs. The pitch from Hamelink, and that one's going to find the zone again. Really painting the corner, finding his spot there is Hamelink, and he's ahead in this count 0-2.
And the secret to success, getting ahead early.
So 0-2. Here comes the pitch from Hamelink. And that one's fouled back over the screen. So staying alive in this at-bat is Gunnar Troutwine. Troutwine with the Justin Turner-like red flow. 0-2. Curveball finds the zone. A called strike 3. So the first out of the bottom of the second inning is Lucas Hamelink's first punch out of the day. So now 1 out here in the bottom of the second, and the batter is going to be Stanford's Johnny Locker. the former Matsu Minor, part of that team that went to the top of the World Series last season. First pitch from Hamelick. And that one's taken low and outside, ball one.
Probably wishing he would have gone back. But honestly, I don't think there's a spot for him. Not in that outfield.
And not the season he was looking for. Johnny Loker. We'll wait till he takes this one. He fouls that one down. Loker on the year, 128, 3 RBIs, but he does have a home run to his name. But not the successful campaign he had last year with the rally in the Valley.
Hit 358 last summer. Quite the drop-off.
Night and day. 1-1. Breaking ball. Misses low. The count 2-1 now. 1-0 Anchorage Glacier Pilots. You're in the bottom of the second inning. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on. Hamelick sets, delivers. And that one's popped up in the infield. Coming under it is Patrick Cromwell. He's going to make the grab easily for the second out of the inning. So for the second inning in a row, Lucas Hamelick gets the first 2 batters he sees. But last inning, that's when the trouble began to start. And now Hamelick's going to have to face Carson Kreitz, the second baseman from Southeast Louisiana, a team that plays in the same conference as Stephen F. Austin. First pitch from Hamelick, and that one's popped up, foul, out of play. Kreitz on the year, 233 with 3 RBIs. Rain still coming down here at Mulcahy Field. 0-1. And breaking ball misses on the outside again. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here. The 1-1. Swing and a miss there from Carson Kreitz. So Hamelick 1 strike away from getting himself out of this inning. Trying to keep the fish alive as they have yet to get a hit in this ball game. 6 up, 6 down for the Pilots. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hamelick fans Kreitz his second strikeout of the day, and that's the 3rd out of this inning. The Pilots, no runs on no hits, nobody left aboard, and we have played 2 innings, and they still lead this game 1-0. We're going to step off for just a second, but don't go anywhere. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. And we are here for the top of the 3rd inning. Andrew Alex, Garrett Mansfield at Mulcahy Stadium, where the Anchorage Glacier Pilots lead this one 1-0 after 2 innings. The batter, Holt Davis, and he takes the first pitch in the zone for a called strike 1. Davis on the year, 204 batting average, 6 RBIs. He's got himself a pair of triples, both of which came against the Glacier Pilots. Here comes the 0-1 from Drew Jacobs, and he swings and misses at that one. So Holt Davis quickly falling behind in this count, 0-2. Davis from the University of Alabama, Birmingham. Jacobs sets, delivers, and Davis grounds that one weakly to the first baseman, Veers, who tosses it to the pitcher, Jacobs, for the first out of the inning. So mark that in your books as a 3-1 ground out. And 1 down here for the Chinooks, still hitless. Through 3 innings, or through 2 1/3 innings. And now, Hunter Hanks to the plate. Hanks comes into the game sporting a 162 batting average. But things looking upward for him. He went 2 for 4 in his last contest on Sunday against the Matsu Miners. Hanks watches the first pitch fastball on the outside, and that's going to miss a ball one. 1-0, 1 out here in the top of the third. And Hanks takes all the way again, but that one just hits the zone, a called strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the third, 1-0. Anchorage Glacier Pilots, Drew Jacobs, the 1-1. And Hanks watches that one in the zone again. So falling behind in this count, 1-2, is the Lipscomb shortstop, Hunter Hanks. And swing and a miss, strike 3 there. Hunter Hanks goes down swinging, and 8 Chinooks have come to the plate, and 8 of them have sat down tonight against Drew Jacobs. Jacobs, who came into this game sporting a 0.43 ERA. His last outing against the Peninsula Oilers, he allowed 4 hits, 0 earned runs through 7 innings. And now the batter is going to be Will Bass. Will Bass takes low, ball 1. Bass comes into the game. 171 on the year. He went 1 for 3 on Sunday against the Matsu Miners. And Bass waves and misses at the 1-0. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the top of the third. Jacobs sets, delivers. And that one's on the inside, ball 2. The 2-1, another swing and a miss there from Will Bass, evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. With 2 outs here in the top of the third inning, the Chinooks trail 1-0. Jacobs looking to the catcher Troutwine for the sign. He got what he wanted, the 2-2 pitch, and that one's going to skip in the dirt for ball 3. The Chinooks still looking for their first base runner of the game. And the Matsu Miners have certainly had some base runners today. They lead 10-2 in the bottom of the 4th. And Will Bass watches that one on the inside, ball 4. So the Chinooks have their first guy aboard today. And back to the top of the order we go with Patrick Cromwell.
Got 10th walk of the year for Will Bass, getting the perfect game out of the way. But so far, Drew Jacobs, yet another superb outing. And his first start, actually, of this season.
So Patrick Cromwell to the plate. He couldn't check his swing fully there, so 0-1 the count. With 2 outs, Will Bass, the man on first. The Chinooks trying to even up the score here with the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, and the games that these two teams have played have been very, very close. 0-1, and Cromwell fouls that one down the left field line, out of play. So quickly falling behind in this count is Patrick Cromwell. It's 0-2 here versus Drew Jacobs, a guy who, like you said, last time he faced the Chinooks, 6 innings pitched, just 1 earned run, struck out 4. 0-2 the count, the pitch, and Cromwell just gets a piece of that on the end of his bat, fouling it off, staying alive here.
See, the hit and run was obviously an effect right there, reaching well out of the zone to fend that ball off. Or else Will Bass probably would have been a dead pigeon at second base.
Cromwell with 4 multi-hit games in the month of July. Here's the 0-2. And Cromwell fouling that one off again, staying alive in this at-bat. And that'll be important for the Chinooks, working the pitch count of Drew Jacobs. Jacobs plays his college ball with the West Coast Conference champ, University of San Diego. The 0-2. And that one's on the inside. Will Bass going, and at second base, he is out for the 3rd out of the inning. So Will Bass gunned out at third base, and the Chinooks still scoreless, still hitless through 3 innings of play against Drew Jacobs. And, of course, all the Chinooks radio broadcasts that me and Garrett bring you are brought to you by BP, powering Alaska's future. But going back to what's going on at Herman Brothers Field. the Matsu Miners. It's a new guy every day. Jake Schleppenbach with 3 RBIs, 2 hits so far. And that's a guy who's batting 197 on the year.
Seems to be the par for the course right there, I guess.
So, if you're the pitcher for the Peninsula Oilers, and today let's see who it is actually. That's Connor Dotson. They got to Connor Dotson out of West Virginia. That's easily the best pitcher on the Matsu Miners staff.
Oilers.
Oh, yeah, on the Oilers staff. My bad. But the line for Dotson, 2 2/3 inning pitched, 9 hits, 3 earned runs, but 6 runs allowed. So errors in the field, obviously, getting to the Oilers there. And I don't think the Oilers are going to be the team that comes out of that American League. It's going to be the Anchorage Bucks.
I would have to agree with you. It's just a matter of playing the rest of these games out. I mean, some of these teams have only played 22, 23 games in league, and they got to get the 40 somehow. And the Bucks are probably one of the favorites, at least, to come out of that one, especially with the fluttering Gold Panthers at this point.
Oh, yeah, the Gold Panthers are terrible. So bottom of the 3rd inning we go, and the first pitch to Luke Hamblin is weakly tipped. The throw from Lucas Hamlin to first base, not in time. And sorry I had to rush that call, but Luke Hamblin not really getting full contact with that ball, but basically weak contact ends up like the perfect bunt there. And
ends up, being almost a swinging bunt.
Of course, Lucas Hamlin's throw could not beat the speedy Luke Hamblin at first, so he's aboard with an infield hit. It's tough to call that a hit, but it is what it is. So the Pilots with their 3rd hit of the ball game. And now they have a man on first with nobody out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. They still lead 1-0. And first pitch to Corby Batesole is ripped into right field. Another base hit. So here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, the Pilots getting to Lucas Hamlin early. 2 base hits to start this off, and now they have men at first and second with nobody out. For Jack Anderson, his first time up, he singled. Ended up coming around to score the only run of this ball game. And Hamlin has thrown about almost 40 pitches here tonight. And he'll face the right fielder, Anderson. First and second, nobody out. Bottom of the 3rd inning. And that's going to be another base hit into left field. Coming around third to score is Luke Hamblin, coming around third to score. And they're going to say that's a ground rule double, or at least that's what they're asking for.
Yep. Ball got into the gate along the right field line, so Batesole and Anderson will head back to second and third, but a run will come home.
Luke Hamblin coming around to score there on the ground rule double from Jack Anderson. And Lucas Hamlin not looking at his best here in the bottom of the 3rd. The score now 2-0 in favor of the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Nobody outs here. Runners at second and third. Single, double. And first pitch to Kevin Veers from Fresno State on the inside, ball 1.
Not a guy you would really like to be seeing here. Very dangerous hitter, 8 extra base hits.
Absolutely not. Probably the best hitter top down in the lineup for the Glacier Pilots, and he watches that strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. The Glacier Pilots are already adding 1 run here, and they are threatening. Nobody out, runners at second and third. And those were 3. Well, not 3. Luke Hamblin's hit was not any good contact or anything, but Corby Batesole and Jack Anderson both ripping them into left field and right field, respectively. Here comes the 1-1 from Hamlin, and that's on the inside. So the count 2-1. Kevin Veers from Fresno State. 262, 12 RBIs, and as Garrett just said, 8 extra base hits. And he has used those to damage the Chinooks so far this season. Here comes the 2-1 from Hamelink. And that one misses on the outside, so now a hitter's count for Kevin Veers. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Wouldn't mind being careful with him just to get the double play-in effect here, but at the same time, bases loaded for Carrillo is not an ideal situation either. Bad part of the lineup to be in this kind of a jam.
3-1 and a swing and a miss there from Kevin Veers.
He was completely tied up on that one.
So a full count. A big out for Lucas Hamelink. Really needs 2 big outs.
He's a strikeout and a pop-up.
Absolutely.
Only way really to get out of this unscathed.
Here's the 3-2, and that one's grounded in a foul ball right in the ankle of Kevin Veers, and he's hobbling off there.
Yeah, that's a tough one, especially when you're up there battling like that.
So still with full count here. This inning started off a single from Luke Hamblin, a single from Corby Batesole, and an RBI double from Jack Anderson. Lucas Hamelink still yet to record an out in this inning. And bottom of the second, he looked really good. A 1-2-3 inning striking out 2. But night and day from what we saw in the second and what we've seen so far here in the third. 3-2. And that one finds the zone, a called strike 3. So the third strikeout of the day for Lucas Hamelink sends Kevin Veers back to the dugout.
That's a big strikeout right there for the first out of the inning, avoiding big trouble.
So now Alberto Carrillo to the plate.
Interesting to see the infield shipped on for the Chinooks. Corners are in, the middle infield still playing for 1 out, rather than cutting the runner at home early. It's an early portion of the game already. Still a chance to come back from it, but
first pitch to Carrillo, and that one's popped up over the screen towards the press box. So the count 0-1. Carrillo, his last time up, RBI single. Put the Glacier Pilots on the board back in the bottom of the first inning. That was his 5th RBI of the season for the Glacier Pilots. 0-1 coming from Hamelink. And that one misses low and away. Ball 1. And Hamelink needs a big out here to prevent any further damage. The 1-1 coming from Hamelink. And that one low and away this time.
Yeah, just looks like he's just nibbling right now. He's not going after guys, not coming really inside to try to make his way out of it, but he's just...
And some work in the Chinooks bullpen. That looks like Shane Armstrong.
Yeah, it is.
So 2-0. Glacier Pilots runners on second and third. The 2-1 pitch from Lucas Hamelink, swing and a miss on the inside. A curveball, that looks like. So evens the count up. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. Lucas Hamelink on the day has allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. He struck out 3 through 2 1/3 innings work, but he's got himself in a jam here. The 2-2 pitch, and that one's grounded to the shortstop, or the second baseman, Will Bass. He's going to throw it to Holt Davis at first for an out, but coming home to score is Corby Batesole from third base, and that extends the Glacier Pilots' lead to 3-0. And with the way that the Chinooks have been hitting so far today, which is just straight up, they haven't been hitting. Lack thereof would be the term that I'm looking for, but they're going to need to figure something out if they want any shot at winning this ball game.
Obviously, Jordan Vieira wants some motivation to realize that, hey, you guys got to score some offense.
So Joe Wainhouse to the plate. Wainhouse, his last time up, grounded into a 4-3. to end the bottom of the first inning. Wayne House could, quite frankly, make this a 5-0 game in one swing of the bat if Hamelink throws him anything he can hit. But he does not hit that very well. But, of course, it gets right under the leg of Holt Davis. So another run comes in to score. 4-0 Glacier Pilots. And that was a routine ground down. Bad positioning over at first base for Holt Davis. And that'll be marked as an error.
Base hit.
Check that, a base hit. Scoreboard's wrong. The real
thing was tatered.
It's got a sharp ground ball. No time for Holt Davis to adjust there. So 4-0 the score. The batter, Gunnar Troutwine. First pitch to Troutwine in there for a called strike. And big curveball from Lucas Hamelink on 0-1. That misses on the inside. Evens the count up. 1 ball, 1 strike. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. 4-0. Anchorage Glacier Pilots. The pitch. And that one finding the zone there. A called strike too. So Hamelink trying to get himself out of this one. It has been a struggle so far here for the righty out of Hillsdale College. The 1-2 pitch and breaking ball misses on the outside, evens the count up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Joe Wainhouse, the runner at third. Or runner at first. Ooh, the runner at third would be different. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Hamelink looks to the catcher box. Well, he delivers, and that one is going to be just off the plate. Missed there with the fastball, maybe trying to get Troutwine to chase. Troutwine, his first time up, went down swinging. Three and two the count. 2 down here. Hamelink delivers. And that one's grounded sharply to Patrick Cromwell at third. He turns, throws to first base. Holt Davis makes the grab, extending his leg off the bag for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Glacier Pilots tack on 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And we have played 3. The score 4-0 in favor of the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. We're going to step off for a second, but we'll be right back as the Chinooks try to get on the board here. You are listening to Chinooks Radio.
To the 4th inning we go. Patrick Cromwell will lead things off for the Chinooks. He got to a 1-2 count before Will Bass was gunned out at second base in the top of the 3rd inning. Will Bass, the only base runner aboard against Drew Jacobs. First offering swung on a miss. Good changeup from Jacobs. And Drew Jacobs continues to have a stellar summer. As he winds up this one, the 0-1 pitch to Cromwell downstairs in the turf. 1-1 count. Cromwell grounded out to the pitcher. His first time around, that was in inning number 1. Here's the 1-1 offering, and Cromwell waves it down one again. Goes down to 1-2. 4-0 Glacier Pilots for the top of the 4th. Cromwell, Ferruto, Baranek will hit here in this inning. As Jacobs has seen the minimum. Outside on the 1-2 pitch, makes it a 2-2 count. The Glacier Pilots have gotten their 4 runs on 6 base hits. And just continued to hit Hamelink. And Cromwell gets tied up on a off-speed pitch in the dirt, but he's going to go down swinging for out number 1. His 3rd strikeout of the evening for Jacobs. And Jacobs getting his first start of the season tonight against the Chinooks, where he's 0-1. His 1 earned run he's allowed this year was to the Chinooks in a 3-2 ball game here back on July the 3rd. He faces Matt Ferruto now with 1 out. Cutter hits the outside or inside, and that's strike 1. It's Matt Ferruto, who had a 2-for-4 day on Sunday, a quiet 2-for-4 day. And a guy who is really leading the offense for much of June. He hits that one on the ground sharply to 3rd, but it'll get wide of the bag for a foul ball. And he goes down 0-2.
And Garrett, for Lucas Hamelink, you have to wonder, maybe it was the extended off time?
Could very well be.
Not looking like regular Lucas Hamelink. The only really bad inning he's had so far this year was back against the Matsu Miners. And was just 4 hits against that core top of the lineup for the Miners that caused all the damage there.
0-2 pitch to Ferruto, and that's going to hit the outside part of the plate. Called for strike 3. So Jacobs has the first 2 fish out on strikes here in the 4th inning, and he'll face Cameron Baranek. Baranek a fly out to center his first time around, squared one up, but just couldn't drop it in. We've been battling weather all day long. Here's the first offering from Baranek. He lines that one right back up the middle. There goes the no-no. So Baranek, first pitch swinging, singles up the middle and extends his hitting streak now to 7 ball games. The same one on the back of his uniform brings up Tyler Boxwell.
Also continuing has reached base in every single game he's played this streak, which continues to get more and more impressive every single day.
He's 11 of 29 over this 7-game stretch. And now Tyler Boxwell, a strikeout looking to lead off the 2nd inning. Here's the first offering from Jacobs, outside ball number 1. Yeah, we saw light showers in Chugiak and through Eagle River all day. Really today, off and on. Got to Anchorage, and it looked pretty nice for about 10 minutes, and then the skies fell open. And it poured for much of BP. The Chinooks did not take BP, and it's showing. There's a strike on the outside corner. Goes to 1-1. The Glacier Pilots did so. Took some extra swings as well. And it's paying off. They're up 4-0 here in the 4th. 1-1 is the count. 2 outs against Tyler Boxwell. Jacobs has his sign. He's ready, working first base side of the rubber. Slings it over the first to keep Baranek at the first station on the base pass. So it's still 1-1 with 2 outs. So Boxwell, the Chinooks catcher, stands back in. Here's the 1-1 outside from Drew Jacobs. Makes it 2-1. Drew Jacobs. He's quite the athlete. Pitching very well this year for the Glacier Pilots. And now here's the pitch to Boxwell. Banks it towards first. Backhanded by Kevin Veers. He takes it to the bag himself for the out. And that retires the side in the top of the 4th inning, where the Glacier Pilots still lead this one by a score of 4-0. And Andrew, the offense continues to sputter, and it's probably not going to get much help without the services of Michael Staudinger for most likely the rest of the season. Staudinger, getting some second opinions on that knee, which he has injured. Don't know to the full extent just yet, but it looks like another Chinook might be finished for the year, and one of the strongest bats in the lineup from the left side. And overall, really is Staudinger, and his presence in the middle of the lineup is going to be missed.
And Garrett, you're exactly right. And the issue right now, it all comes down to hitting. And the Chinooks, I mean, there is hope. The Chinooks, with their last game against the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, after being held 1 run through the first 3 innings, in the middle innings put up 5 runs. And that was back on the 7th of July, a week ago, against the Pilots. But something's got to get going here tonight. And that was a game where Staudinger was such a huge contributor for the Fish. He went 2 for 4, scored twice, and drove in a run. And he will be sorely missed if his season with the Fish is over. And, of course, Caden Owens heading back to Oklahoma today. An emotional goodbye. Owens, just a great guy. And they're going to miss him as a pitcher, as a hitter, as a base runner. And that's a tough one to lose. If you lose Staudinger on top of that.
Yep, the options at first base showing up. It's just Holt Davis.
Maybe Jacob Probst can play first base.
Or,
Ikesty. I'm just trying to think.
Actually, Braxton Wilkes would be the next option.
Yeah, I'd play Braxton.
Yep, Braxton.
Braxton at left, play Caleb at first. Caleb's got a first base body.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I know Braxton takes a lot of reps during BP.
Let's not write out Michael Staudinger yet, but
it
looks pretty grim.
He wasn't moving very well today. But bottom of inning number 4, we go. Johnny Lokert, Carson Kreitz, and then Luke Hamblin against Lucas Hamelink. First offering is low and away, ball 1. Still working the Chinooks bullpen. Shane Armstrong still up. And that pitch is ruled strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. Lokert from Stanford, his second year in the ABL, first year with the Glacier Pilots. Off-speed pitch is away and low, 2-1 on Lokert. He was a pop-up victim in the second in the 1-2-3 inning against Troutwine, Lokert, and Kreitz. There's the 2-1 from Hamelink, and Lokert on a line in the shallow left field gets by Hunter Hanks for a base hit. So he will lead off inning number 4 with a single. 7th hit of the night for the Glacier Pilots. Now brings up Carson Kreitz, who struck out swinging his last time around, and he'll take his .233 average up there. Kreitz does have 6 stolen bases as well, but Jordan Vieira come to the mound, and looks like that's going to be all for Lucas Hamelink. And he will take the baseball with nobody out in the top of the 4th inning. The bottom of the 4th inning. And we'll get a new pitcher on the hill for the Chinooks. So one Hillsdale Charger will be lifted for another. Shane Armstrong coming to the mound. We'll be right back to get the substitution sorted out. Carson Kreitz, the number 9 hitter in the order for Darren Westergaard, will be the first to face Shane Armstrong. Armstrong relieving Lucas Hamelink. First offering is that's going to be at the knees for a strike. That's how his night gets going. Shane in his 9th ball game. 16 2/3 innings of work, a 3.78 ERA. Striking out 11 over that mark. Also walking 11. So there's a pitch a little bit high to Kreitz. Goes to 1-1. The runner at first base is Johnny Loker. So that is still Lucas Hamelink's runner out there. Hamelink allowing all 4 earned runs on the game so far. That pitch is hit in the air. Left side and out of play. As the Glacier Pilots with 4 runs on 7 base hits. The Chinooks and nothing on just 1 hit, no errors for either side. Here's the 1-2 pitch, swung on line towards right center, hooking towards the right fielder, Caleb Potter, and he comes on and makes a running catch head high for the first out of the inning. So that's the first out of the bottom of the 4th inning. Top of the order for the Pilots, it'll be Luke Hamblin. Corby Bateson will hit next. He's on deck. Pair of left-handed hitters against Armstrong. But Hamblin, 1 for 2 this evening. Came around and scored in the 3rd. Got things started. Breaking ball outside corner for strike 1 from Shane Armstrong, the right-hander from Hillsdale College. His playing career at Hillsdale is over. Does have a little bit of school left to go. So he'll head back to Hillsdale, Michigan in the fall. That's outside, ball number 1. Evens it up.
Shane working to complete his degree in exercise science.
And then it's on from there. He'll see where it goes. Here's the 1-1 count. Throw back to first. Knocked down by Davis. And Loker not going to get anywhere. And they're going to leave the runner. They thought Davis kind of stepped over Loker, so he thought he was going to get second base, but he'll be left just because where the ball took Davis. So lucky for the Chinooks there. Staying 1-1, staying a runner at first. Double play still in effect. The Fish have turned 22 double plays this season. The Glacier Pilots have grounded into 18. Here's the 1-1 from Armstrong. Up and away, ball 2 to Luke Hamblin. And Shane, he was considering moving up here to Alaska after he's done with college. Loves it up here. Swing and a miss by Hamblin. Makes the count 2-2.
I remember on one of the first days of the year this year, I was driving around with Shane Armstrong, and he said, "It's so funny that I don't need to use MapQuest ever when driving around here. I know exactly where I'm going all over Anchorage."
Very true. Here's the 2-2 hit the other way. Through the hole on the left side of the infield. A base hit. They had the hit and run on. Pulling Hunter Hanks out of position. And another single for the Glacier Pilots. And Luke Hamblin, his 2nd hit of the day. So Loker to 2nd. Hamblin the 1st. For Corby Batesall. Shane also coaching Anchorage.
South Anchorage,
South,
right?
The Legion. So he's
a man about town.
Yeah, he's really all in Alaska, isn't he? First offering in Hamblin, Batesall squares the bunt, pulls it back, takes a ball. Batesall 1 for 2 tonight with a single. As he stands back in from Fresno State, the shortstop today. For the Glacier Pilots, takes that one upstairs, makes it 2-0. So Shane in a little bit of trouble. Trying to battle back and get his Hillsdale teammate, Lucas Hamelink, off the hook with just 4 runs. He only went the first 3 innings. First offering, or the 2-0 is on the outside part of the plate for a strike. Hamelink, 3 innings of work, 7 base hits allowed. The 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. So far, 4 earned runs, but he is responsible for Johnny Loker at 2nd. There is another strike on the 2-1 offering from Armstrong. He evens the count up yet again. Only spark of life the Chinooks have had offensively has come with 2 outs. A 2-out walk by Will Bass in the 3rd. And then Cameron Boronik, a 2-out single back in the top of this inning. And that's hit on a line towards the 3rd baseman, Cromwell, but it's going to get wide of the bag and will keep the count at 2-2.
And Shane Armstrong, his last outing against the Pilots, very successful. He pitched 3 innings, just 1 hit allowed, didn't allow any runs. Remember, he struck out 4, getting them out of kind of a jam there. In a game, the Fish went on to win 3-2. He picked up the win in that ball game.
The 2-2 swung on, hit in the air softly towards left. Cameron Baranek laces over there and makes a fine running catch in the alley. That could have been danger. And Baranek, not only an offensive catalyst, but a very nice defensive piece for the Chinooks. Doesn't matter where he's playing, left or center. I think he still would have tracked that one down. Good job on the run by the Santa Ana College sophomore to be. So here's Jack Anderson, first offering. Armstrong goes away for ball 1. Anderson, 2 for 2, a single, a double, an RBI. A guy that can really swing it. Goes to Oregon State. Here's the 1-0 outside, 2-0. Of course, another Glacier Pilot in the past was a Beaver. The name Jacoby Ellsbury might ring a bell.
I've heard of him before.
2-0 is the count on Jack Anderson with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. There's a strike dumped in there by Shane Armstrong. Goes to 2-1 now. And a 4-0 ball game. The Glacier Pilots 3 in the 3rd inning to add on to their 1 in the 1st to move ahead in this one. Armstrong checking of second of Loker. Now he fires home. Anderson takes it outside. 3-1 is the count. Armstrong looking to get some solid work here in relief. A pitching snap that was pushed back yet again with the off day yesterday. The 3-1 outside, ball 4. That loads the bases. And that'll bring up Kevin Veers. I think the last guy you'd like to see with the bases loaded. But he struck out the last time. He was in a dangerous spot, had second and third, nobody out, struck out looking against Hamelink. And Veers, now with 14 walks this season, going to be close to the league lead in that category. Hits from the left side. First offering from Armstrong. Breaking ball, dips the outer edge for a strike. Wind blowing in from left field. Not too hard. It's been whipping all over the place today. And mostly cloudy skies throughout. And Veers bangs that one foul to the first base side. Quickly down 0-2. Had some periods of sunshine right before the game started. But here at Mulcahy Field have not had too much nice weather, but it's been cool and rainy most of the time. But the turf has kept us on time this evening. Here's the 0-2 to Veers, a swing and a miss. Shane Armstrong dances out of danger and takes the 4-0 lead. Or excuse me, the Pilots will take the 4-0 lead to the 5th inning. The Chinooks, and they need some hits, they need some runs, and they trail this one by 4. We'll be right back on Chinooks Radio. We go to the fifth inning. The Chinooks trailing 4-0 to the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Drew Jacobs pitching quite the ball game for the Glacier Pilots. He'll lead things off to face David Morton. Fires the first one outside, ball one. Just one base hit from the Chinooks offense. It came from Cameron Baranek last inning. That one's in there. Letter high to Dave Morton. Evens the count up at 1-1. And then the Glacier Pilots, they've only been sat down in order one time after collecting 8 hits and 4 runs. 1-1 pitch goes inside to Morton. Evens up. Now goes to 2-1. And Lucas Hamelink, the door officially shut on him. Just 4 runs earned today through 3 innings. Here's the 2-1, and Morton rips that one to the right side, and that's going to get through the hole into right field for a base hit. So David Morton leading off the fifth with a big knock. And with Caleb Potter, his roommate, to the plate, he'll try to find a way to not come up empty. Get to the part of the order that's really struggled lately. Caleb Potter, Holt Davis, they have played sparingly over the last couple of weeks, but Potter on the upswing. He does have 3 hits in his last 5 games. First offering to him, takes it letter high for a strike from Drew Jacobs from San Diego.
That lasted for Potter being a double.
Yep.
Back at Lee Jordan Field. Showed his potential, but he's just got to get fully in the swing of things.
Consistency. 0-1 hit the other way towards right and just did get foul. Good defensive swing by Potter there, but he got to find a way to keep it up there against Drew Jacobs. Guy that really had a chance to, had his pick of schools in the state of California before choosing to go to San Diego. 0-2 pitch that Potter's upstairs. 1-2 goes the count. Cal Poly, UC, Santa Barbara, Loyola Marymount, and San Diego. Those were the 4 finalists for Drew Jacobs' services over 4 years. The 1-2 pitch to Potter is upstairs. Goes to 2-2. And the Mat-Su Miners continued to punish the Peninsula Oilers on a score of 11-2. And a lot of their unnormal contributors are doing most of it, and that one runs way inside and hits Caleb Potter. He is not pleased as that one stung.
It's a wincing facial expression there from Potter, and he's gonna just walk over to first base, and he's winded by that one.
He's bending down. It got him up in the upper body. Didn't know if it got him quite on the forearm or if it got him in the ribs, but if that was a rib shot, those ones don't feel good at all. And he was kind of trying to turn out of the way, and man, that one was a missile coming in on Caleb Potter. Hopefully he can stay in this ball game, but he's gonna walk it off here a little bit, giving us a chance to remind you that game up in Fairbanks between the Bucks and the Panthers not going to take place tonight. As that wraps up our ABL scoreboard after the update at Herman Brothers. But the first offering now, Holt Davis, that almost got him. As he bends out of the way of that one, goes ball 1, and looked very close to the hands. Top of inning number 5. In a 4-0 ball game in the lead are the home squad. Team that hasn't fared too well at home. The Pilots are just 3-10. That's Davis squares the bunt, pulls back 2-0. The Chinooks 4-2 against the Glacier Pilots, 5-0 total here at Mulcahy Field, playing the Glacier Pilots and the Bucks. So Davis will stand back in, hitting 2-0. He's opened up his stance, and he squares the bunt, drops it down third base side. The third baseman, Carrillo, in, throws down the first, and that'll get Holt Davis on the sacrifice, advancing Morton and Potter up a base each.
And the Chinooks threatening, really, for the first time this ball game. Now with Hunter Hanks, and he went 2 for 4 back on Sunday. Let's see if he can continue his success with the Chinooks on the board here.
So Hanks will stand back in. And he splinters that one. Breaks his bat as he fouls it off to the first base side of things. Second and third, one out, and Hunter Hanks will grab some new lumber. Hanks, shortstop from Lipscomb University in Nashville, where the baseball winter meetings will take place this December.
You going?
Trying to make an appearance. We'll see what happens. 0-1 is the count on Hunter Hanks. Drew Jacobs, a check of second and third, delivers high, ball one. Of course, I'd love to be down there.
Is that like an invite-only thing? Or
No, it's a registration and everything, but I'd love to be down there in September when my Bowling Green Falcons open up the college football season against the Tennessee Volunteers at LP Stadium. There's a swing and a miss from Hunter Hanks. He goes down 1-2.
very strange choice for a neutral site game.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be UAB and Tennessee opening that game, but UAB, of course, shutting down the football program for about a month and a half. And there's a swing and a miss from Hunter Hanks as he's the second out of the inning for the Chinooks. But Tennessee needed to fill that opening weekend, and Bowling Green jumped all over it, so they'll head down and open up their season in the South for the second straight year.
Who'd they play last year?
Western Kentucky. It was a battle of Bowling Greens.
Oh, true that. Wow.
So the Bowling Green in Kentucky that does not house Bowling Green State University. That's outside ball one to Will Bass. Bass, last chance for the Chinooks to chip away at this lead. A base hit would score two.
Big spot here. They need these.
1-0 from Jacobs. Bass takes outside corner, I suppose. 1-1. I looked a little outside.
I don't know about that one, yeah.
But count goes 1-1 regardless. 2 outs on the Chinooks. A big hole in left center and down the right field line, so Will Bass has options. Infield way back on the right side. The 1-1 outside by Jacobs. Count goes 2-1 against Will Bass. Will walked his first time up for the 10th time of the season. He has reached first on balls and trying to continue his good hitting in July. That's grounded right back to the pitcher. Jacobs knocks it down with a big right bear paw. Picks it up, throws to first to complete the out. How about that? So Drew Jacobs hangs tight, gets out of the jam, and the Chinooks are held off the board in their half of the 5th inning. And Andrew, something's got to give as the bat's just not there at all.
Yeah, Garrett, it is a tad concerning, you got to say. And the Anchorage Glacier Pilots in games where they score 4 runs or more, they are 6-1 on the year. Of course, the Chinooks fully able to put up a bunch of runs in an inning. We've seen 4-run spots. We've seen 5-run spots here and there. But you got to produce. You got runners on second and third. 1 out. That's textbook, at least driving 1 on a sac fly. But nothing comes there, and the Chinooks still trailing 4-0 in this ball game. And I was talking to you about this earlier. Reasonable goal for the Chinooks to have this season. They should finish above 500. And coming into this last stretch of the season, they need to be at least 8-6 to lock up a winning record on the year. And the majority of those games that they're going to play 7 against the Glacier Pilots, 7 of 12. So this is a key game for them to grab here, and trailing early. It's not looking good here in the bottom of the 5th, but we'll see. It's never over in baseball until the final out is made.
Yep. It's always nice when you only have 2 games against the Matsu Miners, and it's not even in the 20s in the month of July. First offering to Adalberto Carrillo, and he fouls that ball off for right side and out of play. To begin the inning, it'll be Carrillo, Wainhouse, and Troutwine to hit for the Glacier Pilots. In the bottom half of inning number 5, Shane Armstrong on in his second inning of work. Worked a scoreless bottom of the 4th, and Carrillo grounds ball. Another one foul to the first base side, so it quickly goes 0-2. Shane Armstrong came on in the 4th after Johnny Loker singled against Lucas Hamelink, and that was the day for him. And another foul ball by Carrillo. Behind the plate, count stays 2-2 or 0-2. But Hamelink, just 3 innings he's lasted tonight. 7 hits, 4 runs, all of them are earned, and now Armstrong trying to save the bullpen a little farther into this night. Here's the 0-2. Carrillo takes it downstairs, makes it a 1-2 count. Boxwell was set up well off the plate. Carrillo out of USC. Here's the 1-2 count, and he hits it off the end of the bat. A short hop by Hunter Hanks at short, picks and throws to first for the out. Way to stay back by Hunter Hanks to field that one cleanly. Yeah, that's how this inning will get going. Now Joe Wainhouse, single with an RBI back in the 3rd inning. That was the end of the rally to put the Pilots up 4-0. Wainhouse from Ole Miss, freshman this past year. Hits from the left side. He swings and hits one on the ground to first. There is Holt Davis to knock it down, and he takes it to the bag himself for out number 2. So a quick out for Armstrong in the Chinooks.
And that was actually pretty much the exact same hit, or exact same kind of hit. That was the RBI single that Wainhouse had back in the 3rd. But Davis in better position to start there. Scoops up the hard ground ball and takes it himself.
First offering to Gunnar Troutwine is it low and outside, ball 1. Troutwine 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. Yeah, the first play from Wainhouse, it was a sharp hit towards first, and it grew legs and juked out Holt Davis, getting in the right field for a single. There's a pitch on the outside part of the plate for a strike, makes it 1-1 to Gunnar Troutwine. That one's on the ground to 3rd. Backhanded by Cromwell. The throw across the diamond and plenty of time. And that retires the side in the bottom of the 5th. And after 5 innings of play, the Chinooks trailing the Glacier Pilots by a score of 4-0. We'll be right back at Mulcahy Field with more Alaska Baseball League action. You're listening to Chinooks Radio. Top of the Chinooks order in the top of the 6th. Patrick Cromwell will hit against Drew Jacobs for the 3rd time. A ground out and a strikeout on the ledger for the Santa Ana third baseman for the Chinooks this summer. First offering from Jacobs, and Cromwell squares the butt, pulls it back, and takes ball one. Fish trailing 4-0 to the Glacier Pilots. Pilots have played a rare complete game here at home so far. That's down at the knees for a strike to Cromwell. 1-1, it evens up. Chinooks coming in at 13-14, a game under 500. The Pilots at 11-15. After splitting a doubleheader with the Miners yesterday in a pair of 1-0 games. 1-1 pitch to Cromwell, hits the outside part of the plate for the second strike. And Cromwell standing back in there, looking to get back to his hot-hitting pace he's been on. Hits that one off the end of the bat to the left side of things and out of play. Count will remain 1-2. Cromwell over his last 9 ball games is 11 for 32. Pretty good clip. He has raised his batting average to 205. Was hitting in the 100s for quite a while. 1-2 count, and that pitch is, I'm going to say it's a little high. Cromwell started around but pulled back. The appeal confers. So hits a 2-2 count now against Patrick Cromwell against Drew Jacobs, who has been lights out for the Glacier Pilots tonight. Here's the 2-2 outside, full count on Cromwell. Now Cromwell does lead the Chinooks with 13 walks at the top of their order. So he'll stand back in there, looking to get aboard somehow. Here's the payoff pitch, and that's going to be inside corner, called strike 3. He had to kind of lean out of the way of it, but home plate umpire said it was there. So that's the first out of the inning in the top of the 6th for the Fish. And now the designated hitter, Matt Ferruto, will stand in. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout as well. And 2 for 4 on Sunday against the Miners. In a game that the Fish were shut out 4-0. The offense has not been able to get any kind of traction. There's a first pitch strike from Drew Jacobs to Ferruto, inside part of the plate. Ferruto hitting .253 entering play. And he was a guy who was hitting .354 at the end of June. There is a breaking ball strike again, 0-2. As Drew Jacobs continues to rip through this order for the Chinooks. Just 2 hits, 6 strikeouts on the night, 1 walk. Here's the 0-2 offering from him, and that's high, ball 1. And Drew Jacobs working 21 innings coming into play tonight, all in relief, getting his first start of the year tonight, and he has gone 5 1/3 strong, and Ferruto fends that one off, hits it down the right side and out of play. So he'll stay at 1-2. Ferruto's holding down the DH spot, and it looks like it'll be a spot that Jordan Vieira will have him penciled in for much of the year going forward. Here's the 1-2 count. Ferruto bounces it at the plate in fair territory. There is Carrillo, and it's going to stay fair. As it dies down the line, Jacobs and Carrillo let it go to see if it would roll foul, and it did not.
Gotta get aboard any way you can.
So Matt Ferruto gets on there with a single.
Well, that kind of reminds me of back in the top of the third, or bottom of the third inning, I should say, the weird hit from Luke Hamlin that wasn't really the contact he was looking for, but he got aboard in that inning. They ended up scoring 3 runs, so let's see if this can count as kind of the same catalyst for the Chinooks.
Cameron Baranek takes a backdoor slider for strike 1 from Drew Jacobs. Baranek got the first hit of the game for the Fish back in the 4th. Since then, David Morton has picked one up as well, and then Matt Ferruto just now with 3 hits against Jacobs. There's the 0-1 outside to Baranek. Baranek is now hitting .286. And that'll go up a little bit with the hit today. So here's the 1-1 from Jacobs. He fires it home, and Baranek bounces it towards the first baseman, Kevin Veers, and he will pick it up as it goes foul. So Baranek gets bailed out. as that one goes foul. So he'll stay alive at 1-2. We have a chance to get back in there. As we're in the top of the sixth inning, a 4-0 lead for the Glacier Pilots here at home. Hard to believe they're just 3 of 10 in their own yard. So Baronic will stand back in, hitting from the left side, and Jacobs will step off, take a moment to regroup. Before the threat, Baronic has a chance to hit again. So Jacobs looking in the trout line, going through the signals. He's got him. Here's the 1-2 to Baronic. He fouls it off. First base side behind the plate. The count will remain at 1-2 again. And what has turned into a very pleasant evening in the big city of Anchorage. Started out with rain showers throughout BP and the first few innings of this ball game, but it has rained itself out and turned out very nice. And Baronic fouls that one off at the plate, and Troutwine could not hold on. So we'll do it again at 1-2.
Baronic literally getting like the minimum amount of a piece of a ball that you can get there.
Just off the end of the bat. So he'll stand back in. The 1-2 from Jacobs is high. Count moves 2-2. Adalberto Carrillo is playing very shallow at third. In on the cut of the infield grass, if it was grass, but the all-turf infield here at Mulcahy Field. So just in front of the bag. And just a bit off the line. Here's the 2-2 to Baronic. He hits this one in the air. Not deep, shallow left center. The shortstop, Batesel, is out, and then Hamblin, the center fielder, calls him off and makes the grab for out number 2. So 2 gone, and now Tyler Boxwell to the plate. Biggest threat for the Chinooks in this one came last inning when David Morton led off the inning with a single, and then Caleb Potter was hit by a pitch by Drew Jacobs, and then they were sacrificed over by Holt Davis. First offering in the zone of Boxwell. And then Hunter Hanks and Will Bass each went down in order to finish it off. Only guys in scoring position today for the Fish. 1-2 pitch to Boxwell outside, 1-1. Boxwell today struck out in the second inning. Grounded out in the fourth. Hitting from the left side at a Stephen F. Austin. Here's the 1-1 from Jacobs outside and low, 2-1. Boxwell. Plenty of pop. As both Chinooks backstops do. Andrew Morgan, Tyler Boxwell. Lots of power. He shows it off there, hits it the other way towards left, but that's going to be a routine out for Johnny Luker. And he makes the head-high grab for the third out of the inning. And the Chinooks have been held off the board yet again. Now through 6 innings, we had at the bottom of the 6th and a 4-0 ball game. Shane Armstrong working fine in relief for the visiting club. And they'll be ready to go yet again. And looks like we're going to have a substitution as Braxton Wilkes heads out to right field. Interesting.
Maybe it has something to do with the hit by pitch.
Could very well be, just to let him rest that up.
Garrett, I was just, reviewing some statistics and thinking about what the Chinooks lose if they lose Michael Staudinger. Staudinger, 91 at-bats, hitting .275, 13 RBIs. The guy most comparable statistically to that, Vance Vizcaino. You're basically losing Vance Vizcaino if he's done for the season. Vizcaino, see, 280, just 10 RBIs. So, that's going to be a big loss for the Chinooks if he's done for the year, and a lot of offensive production. But luckily, Cam Baronic really starting to pick it up here. So
Yeah, the one threat you do lose is the power, though.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if you're not scoring runs anyways, what's power going to do for you? That's really what it's been.
It's a sheer lack of hitting.
So they'll look for it somewhere else, and really and truly, it's 7.5 is a lot of games to make up in 2 weeks to play, and a team that has been lights out in the Matsu Miners. But trying to fight for that second best record in the league and keep competing day in and day out, and that's one thing this team has continued to do all season long. Johnny Loker, Carson Kreitz, and Luke Hamblin will lead off the bottom of the sixth inning against Shane Armstrong. Armstrong fires home, and Loker takes it low for ball one. Pilots with a 4-0 lead in this one. They've done so on 8 base hits. The Chinooks have been held off the scoreboard by Drew Jacobs on just 3 hits. The 1-0 to Loker inside, 2-0. Johnny Loker, a Stanford Cardinal. Not only great athlete, but got some brains as well. There's a strike. Loker, Washington native, hitting 243 with Stanford last spring. He hits that one found to the third base side. He evens the count up at 2-2. Did have a couple home runs, played in 49 games. And a team that went 24-32 in the Pac-12. 2-2 pitch, and Loker rips that to the left side and out of play again. So we'll stay at 2-2. Shane Armstrong on in his third inning of work for the Chinooks on the mound, giving up just the 1 hit and 1 walk. And ended up loading the bases in the fourth, but he got out of it. And he gets Loker to lift this one up and out of play to the right side. We remain at 2-2. Wind going a little bit left to right, just enough to move the flags out in left field beyond that left field wall between here and the football stadium in Anchorage. And Loker lifts a lazy fly ball to shallow left field. Coming in is Cameron Baronic. He puts it away for the first out of the inning. And that puts Loker down to a 1-for-3 night now.
And it's all over, Garrett, at Herman Brothers Field.
It was over before now.
Well, the Oilers with some rally time, getting 2 runs off Trent Thompson in the top of the ninth. But, you still lose by 7 runs. And the Miners continue to just do as they do.
Kreitz hits this one in the air, a towering pop-up. Right side, foul ground. And Holt Davis and Will Bass, little miscommunication, but Holt Davis, after some contact with Bass, hauls it in with the out in foul territory. That's pretty much par for the course right there, huh?
Honestly, thinking about it, I'm actually working on seeing if I can make some trades. How many Chinooks hats can I trade for Brick Paskowitz?
0. First offering to Luke Hamblin. That's in there for a strike with 2 gone in the bottom of inning number 6. The Pilots holding on to a 4-0 lead here at Mulcahy Field in downtown Anchorage, Alaska. Here's the 0-1. Hamlin fouls it off at the plate. Goes 0-2 against Shane Armstrong.
My second offer. Ty Beck as a bat boy for Vance Vizcaino.
No shot.
No shot.
No shot.
I wouldn't make that trade.
Pete Christopher would shoot that down in half a second. 0-2. And a big swing and a miss. A good changeup from Shane Armstrong. Gets Hamblin swinging. And after 6, a 4-0 lead for the Glacier Pilots as we head to the 7th inning of play. And we'll be right back with more Alaska Baseball League action here on Chinooks Radio.
And we are back here for the top of the 7th inning from Mulcahy Field. The Glacier Pilots lead this one 4-0. I am Andrew Alex here alongside Garrett Mansfield. A new pitcher for the Glacier Pilots, Jordan Aboitis from Arizona State University. Comes into this game sporting a 4.82 ERA. First pitch from Aboitis to David Morton. And that's taken on the inside, ball 1. Morton on the day, 1 for 2. Aboitis sets, delivers. And way inside there, Morton jumping out of the way. So the count 2-0. Final line on the day for Drew Jacobs, 6 innings pitched, no earned runs, just 3 hits. And Morton pops that one up into left field, coming under it. And making the grab is Johnny Locker for the first out here in the top of the 7th. So 1 up, 1 down for Jordan Aboitis, the 5'5", 150-pound righty out of Arizona State University. And now coming to the plate, Braxton Wilkes. Wilkes replacing Caleb Potter in right field for reasons unknown to us. First pitch to Braxton Wilkes. And that's taken on the inside, ball 1. Wilkes used mostly as a pitcher this season, but has contributed from the plate as well. 1-0. And Wilkes lifts that one at foul territory, left field side, and that's going to sail out of play as Correa chased it all the way to the fence. Moves the count to 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hitting 241 coming into play, does have 3 walks to go with him.
One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of the 7th, 4-0 Pilots. The pitch, and that's on the way inside. Almost got a piece of Wilkes there. Moves the count to 2-1. The Chinooks yet to score a run against Jordan Aboitis. He's pitched 2 innings against the Fish. Yet to allow a hit. Has faced the minimum. And that one's low. Now Wilkes in a hitter's count, 3-1. Holt Davis stands in the on-deck circle. So 3 balls, 1 strike, the pitch from Aboitis. And Wilkes hits that one sharply on the ground. Past the second baseman, Carson Kreitz, a base hit. And the Fish have a man aboard here. Their 4th hit of the ball game. And now Holt Davis to the plate. Davis on the day, a pair of ground outs. He's 0 for 2. One of them being a sacrifice. Back in the 5th to advance David Morton to 3rd, where Morton did not score. The bottom of the order for the Fish, 0 for 6 today. First pitch from Aboitis, breaking ball on the outside.
0 for 4 with the walk and the sacrifice.
0 for 4 with the walk and the sacrifice taken out. Yeah, true that. Should have just said hitless. The 1-0.
General blanket statement that you can't go wrong with.
True that. So that's taken on the outside for a ball. So now the count 2-0. Braxton Wilkes on first. 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. The Fish trying to figure out something. 2-0 pitch. Braxton Wilkes looking like he was going to go there, but stopping about a quarter of the way there. So as Holt Davis takes a strike there, moves the count to 2-1. Aboitis sets, delivers, and that one's fouled back over the screen, evening the count up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The hits today for the Chinooks. 1 from Matt Ferruta, 1 from Cam Baronic, 1 from David Morton, And one from Braxton Wilkes. But down swinging there is Holt Davis. The second out of the inning, first strikeout of the day for Jordan Aboitis. And now with a runner on first and 2 down, Hunter Hanks to the plate. Hunter Hanks 0 for 2 on the day. He struck out twice. The shortstop out of Lipscomb trying to help the Chinooks do something here. First pitch from Aboitis. That's in the dirt. Going is Braxton Wilkes. He's down. The umpire at second says he is out. Did not look out at all. But what the umpire says goes as Braxton Wilkes says something. Jordan Vieira coming out. But just to take the helmet from Braxton Wilkes. So it is stretch time, and we're going to do so as well. We are in the middle of the 7th inning, 4-0 in favor of the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. And back here for the bottom of the 7th inning. The score still 4-0 in favor of the Glacier Pilots. Shane Armstrong back out again. He's facing Corby Batesole. First pitch fastball on the inside for a called strike. Batesole on the day, 1 for 3, a pair of flyouts and a single. He ended up coming around to score back in the 3rd. And Armstrong misses there, evens the count up. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. And that one slides past the corner of the plate, so 1 ball, 2 strikes to Corby Batesole from Fresno State University. And Batesole grounds that one to the first baseman Holt Davis, tosses it to Armstrong, who misses the bag, and they're saying he never touched it. Armstrong having a word with the umpire. And Batesole took out Armstrong. Collision there. But aboard at first is Corby Batesole. And coming out to have a word with the umpire is the manager, Jordan Vieira, and he does not look happy. But Batesole aboard at first, and that's going to be a base hit. You'd figure, right?
Error on the first baseman.
Error on the first baseman.
Threw it wide, didn't get set. You know, kind of hard to be it was a routine play, set up in plenty of time, but
something went wrong somewhere along the way, and
throw was high, got Armstrong out of position, so that's definitely on the throw.
And he never touched the bag, and after talking to the home plate umpire, the consensus is he was safe. And from the way I saw it, he was. The throw was high. Armstrong had to get out of position. He just couldn't get his foot down in time. What really is too bad is that, he got taken out with him on a collision too. So a man aboard to lead things off for the Pilots here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the first pitch to Jack Anderson fouled right back to his leg. So 0-1 the count. Armstrong, up to that point, had retired 6 in a row. And that one finds the zone, a called strike 2. So 0-2. to Jack Anderson. Anderson on the day, 2 for 2 with a walk. The Oregon State Beaver contributing for his Glacier Pilots, and he fouls that one back into the screen, staying alive in this at-bat. Bodies moving in the Chinook bullpen, but no one throwing just yet. Batesel takes his lead over at first. The 0-2 pitch coming from Armstrong, and that one's outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out here. 4-0 Glacier Pilots, bottom of the 7th inning. The Fish with no runs on just 4 hits. The 1-2. And that one's ripped over the head of Holt Davis into right field, but hooks foul at the last second. So Jack Anderson staying alive in this at-bat, but off the bat, that looked like that was going to be a double probably. So Armstrong getting ready, 1-2 again. He sets, he delivers, and that one's fouled down the first base line yet again. So Jack Anderson, if nothing, he is working Shane Armstrong here. The Pilots trying to tack on a few more here in the end of the game. Remove all doubt in this contest. The 1-2 pitch, and that's grounded to the shortstop, Hunter Hanks. He tosses it to Will Bass for 1. The throw to first for 2 is in time, a double play. So now 2 down. The 6-4-3 double play. Removing the runner allowed by that error over at first, and now Kevin Veers to the plate. Veers 0 for 2 with a walk. He struck out twice. Once against Shane Armstrong. So Armstrong facing the first baseman out of Fresno State, and on the first pitch, that's lifted into center field for a base hit. And just some nice contact there from Kevin Veers.
Gives him the 9th hit of the night. For the Glacier Pilots, the worst hitting team in the league, hitting 204 coming into play, but they've banged out 9 hits and outdone their season average in runs per game by 1 run today with 4.
So now Alberto Carrillo to the plate. Carrillo on the day, 1 for 3. He singled back in the first, getting himself an RBI. Pair of ground outs since then. The 1-0 from Armstrong. And that's grounded to the third baseman, Patrick Cromwell. He throws it over to Holt Davis at first in time for out number 3. So no runs on 1 hit, 1 man left aboard for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. And we have played 7, and the Pilots still leading this one 4-0. We're going to step off for a second, but don't go anywhere. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. And we head to the top of the 8th inning. 4-0 the score. The Anchorage Glacier Pilots leading this one. And Hunter Hanks to the plate. Hanks with a pair of strikeouts on the day. First pitch. Hits the outside part of the zone, strike one. Hanks came into this one with a 162 average on the season. Jordan Aboitis out for his second inning of work. And fastball finds the zone there, called strike two. So Hunter Hanks quickly falling behind at risk of striking out for the third time this ballgame. Breaking ball there, misses on the outside. Moves the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Chinooks offense nowhere to be found today. We've been looking all over, too. 1-2. Aboitis delivers, and Hanks fouls that one back into the dirt. Staying alive in this at-bat. Hanks with 2 hits yesterday. Get that average up a little bit. One ball, 2 strikes, the pitch from Aboitis, and that's way upstairs. Some chin music there from Jordan Aboitis. Evens the count up at 2-2. Hanks had to dodge himself out of the way of that one. And Garrett was saying, this is the time for the Chinooks to figure something out. And Hanks, smart move there, taking on the inside. The count goes full. Jordan Aboitis versus Hunter Hanks. Top of the 8th inning. Nobody out. 4-0 Glacier Pilots. The pitch and swing and a miss there from Hunter Hanks. His 3rd strikeout of the day and the first out of the inning here in the top of the 8th. And that's going to bring up Will Bass. Will Bass on the day, 0 for 1. Walked in the 3rd. Grounded out in the 5th. First pitch to Bass. And that one taken low there by Bass. 1-0 the count. Bass from Wayland Baptist. Big swing and a miss there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Will Bass 1 for 3 yesterday. In a game that felt eerily similar to the one that we're playing right now. And a swing and a miss there from Bass is strike 2. The count 1-2. Will Bass strikes out a lot. Yet to do so today. Kind of an all-or-nothing threat there. He'll triple. Go 3 for 4 some days and go 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts other days. And Bass takes in the dirt there. Evens the count up 2 balls, 2 strikes. And though there is kind of a Jekyll and Hyde effect on his plate performance, one thing that has stayed consistent is his performance at second base. Very, very strong throughout the season. So the 2-2 coming from Aboitis. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jordan Aboitis striking out the first 2 batters of the inning for the Chinooks. And with 2 outs, here comes Patrick Cromwell. That's his 3rd strikeout in a row. He struck out Holt Davis back in the 7th. So through 1 1/3, or 1 2/3 innings, Jordan Aboitis with 3 strikeouts. And swing and a miss for the first pitch from Patrick Cromwell. Cromwell on the day, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And the Fish have been striking out a lot so far today. That was their 9th of the day. And Cromwell grounds that one to the first baseman, Kevin Deers, who throws it back to Aboitis at first for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Fish go down 1-2-3 in the top of the 8th inning. And we're going to head to the bottom of the 8th. The Fish still trailing 4-0. The offense nowhere to be found today. And, while we're here, We might as well talk about social media. Now you can follow the Chinooks all over the internet, the great World Wide Web this season. If you're on Twitter, go ahead and give us a follow. We are at CER Chinooks. Garrett and I giving you guys in-game updates, keeping you guys updated with what the Chinooks are doing off the field as well. You can visit the Chinooks official website, www.cerchinooks.com. That website's got rosters, schedules, a history of AIA baseball in Alaska, photos, pretty much everything you can ask for. And new this year that we have our online streaming of the games, myself and Garrett, trying to make you guys feel like you are at the game. So to access that, go to our website and hit the Nooks Nation button. You can also just go on YouTube. Type in Chinooks Radio. You'll find it there too. But we will be here for every single game of the season, bringing you all the action as it happens. You can also catch the games on demand whenever you want. So now to the bottom of the 8th inning. 4-0 Glacier Pilots. Joe Wainhouse to the plate. First pitch from Shane Armstrong in there for a called strike. Wainhouse on the day. 1 for 3. He singled an RBI back in the third. And Wainhouse fouls the fastball from Armstrong back into the screen. Armstrong getting ahead in this count 0-2. On the designated hitter from Ole Miss, Wainhouse batted .222 for the Rebels this season, a team that did not experience the success that they did last season. And Wainhouse, a weak blooper into right field, a base hit, or left field, I should say, a base hit for Wainhouse. And the Pilots have the leadoff hitter aboard yet again. So now Gunnar Troutwine, the catcher out of Wichita State, to the plate. Troutwine 0 for 3 on the day. Strikeout and a pair of groundouts to third. Troutwine came into the game batting .167. And pinch running for the Pilots is going to be Joe Maroney. So that's going to end the day for Wainhouse. First pitch, swing and a miss. Gunnar Troutwine. Nothing in 1 the count. Runner on first here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Troutwine fouls that one back hard into the backstop. So the count 0-2. Joe Maroney at first. With nobody out here, 4-0 Pilots in the bottom of the 8th inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Shane Armstrong sends Gunnar Troutwine back to the Pilot dugout. And now Johnny Loker to the plate. Loker on the day, 1 for 3. Pair of flyouts and a single back in the 4th. Runner on first, 1 out. 4-0 Pilots. Armstrong delivers. And that's going to be upstairs, ball 1. And that's upstairs, ball 2. So falling behind in this count, Shane Armstrong, the Maryville, Michigan native. He deals, swing and a miss there from Locker. Locker, as we aforementioned, the second season in the Alaska Baseball League, making the switch from the Matsu Miners to the Anchorage Glacier Pilots this season. And like we said, a good thing. He probably would not get much playing time with the Miners this season. And the 2-1 from Armstrong, that's away in the dirt, ball 3. So a hitter's count for Johnny Loker here. 3-1 the count, the pitch. And that one misses, ball 4. So Johnny Loker's aboard with a walk, and now the Glacier Pilots have runners at first and second. With one out, and Carson Kreitz from southeastern Louisiana to the plate. And Kreitz on the day 0 for 3. Struck out, and a pair of flyouts represent his day. First pitch from Armstrong, that's inside. So Armstrong seemingly having some trouble finding the strike zone here. Very uncharacteristic of him. The 1-0. And that's grounded to the shortstop. The third baseman, Patrick Cromwell, throws to Will Bass for 1, but Will Bass drops it, taking it out of his glove. So they get the guy at second. So now with 2 down, runners at first and third. Luke Hamblin to the plate. Carson Kreitz aboard on the fielder's choice. Joe Maroney at third. Hamblin 2 for 4. 2 singles, strikeout, flyout. First pitch to Hamblin on the inside, ball 1. It's turned into a beautiful night here in Anchorage. And swing and a miss there from Hamblin. Evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs. Runners at first and third. 4-0. Anchorage Glacier Pilots in the bottom of the 8th inning. The 1-1 pitch and another big swing and a miss there from Hamblin. So Armstrong ahead in this count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out away from ending the Glacier Pilot threat and bring the Chinooks up for their last chance at it. Here's Armstrong, and that one's outside. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Joe Maroney stands at third. Carson Kreitz at first. Here comes the 2-2. And that one's low, ball 3. So the count goes full. Luke Hamblin came to this game batting .308. That will go up. 2 for 4 days so far. Kind of regardless of what happens here. Here's the 3-2. And that one's way outside. Ball 4. So the bases are loaded here for Corby Batesel. Batesel, 1 for 4 on the day. He flew out twice. Reached on an error his last time up. But back in the third, he singled, ended up coming around to score. Seems to be no work in the Chinook bullpen. And one thing you'll notice about the way that the Chinooks have used Shane Armstrong this year is they just give him a ton of responsibility. Kind of a, you got this, buddy, mentality. First pitch to Batesel. And that finds the outside corner of the plate, a called strike 1. The base is loaded, 2 outs here. Chinooks trail 4-0. Oh, 1, swing and a miss. So Shane Armstrong quickly getting ahead in this count against the shortstop from Fresno State. Nothing into the count. The pitch from Armstrong, and that's up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Joe Maroney at third. Carson Kreitz at second. Luke Hamblin at first. 1-2, and that's grounded hard, foul down the first baseline. Staying alive in this at bat is Corby Batesel. One, 2, and that one's ripped into left field, but coming under it, making a sliding grab is Braxton Wilkes after he tripped on his first step. So after 8 innings, the score's still 4-0 in favor of the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. If Wilkes hadn't gotten there, it could have been a lot worse. So we're going to step off. We'll be back for the top of the 9th with the Chinooks' last chance to try to get on the board here. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. Do not go anywhere. And we are here for the top of the ninth. 4-0 Glacier Pilots, the Chinooks, down to their last hopes here. The new pitcher for the Pilots trying to save this one, Wes Judish. First pitch to Matt Ferrudo. That's downstairs, ball one. Judish on the year. 1 earned run through 11 2/3 innings pitched. And that one finds the outside corner of the zone, a called strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out here. Matt Ferrudo on the day. 1 for 3. He singled back in the 6th and struck out and ground out as well. Judish from the University of San Diego. The 1-1 pitch from him up and inside. Moves the count to 2-1. Ferrudo, 253 on the year. Coming into today's contest. Here comes the 2-1. And Ferrudo, big swing and a miss there. Evens the count up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Chinooks at risk of falling 2 games below 500. The 2-2. And that one's fouled back hard. Staying alive in this at-bat is Matt Ferrudo. The Chinooks need 4 to keep this one going. Shane Armstrong has pitched very well in relief. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits allowed, no earned runs. And Ferrudo pops that one up sky high. The right fielder Anderson coming in to make the grab for the first out of the inning. So that's going to bring up Cam Baronic. Baronic on the day. 1 for 3. He singled back in the 4th. He's flown out to center twice. Baronic, a 7-game hit streak. Has reached base in every single Alaska Baseball League contest he has appeared in. First pitch to Baronic, and that's on the outside. A called strike. Just found the zone there. Was Wes Judish. Wes Judish. Yeah. 0-1 the count. Here it comes. And that one's on the inside, taken for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 4-0. Glacier Pilots in the top of the ninth. The Chinooks looking for some kind of miracle rally here. 1-1. And Baronic fouls that one back hard into the screen. Falls behind in this count, 1-2. No offense to be found here so far today for the Chinooks. And here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So 2 up, 2 down, and now the last hope for the Chinooks is Tyler Boxwell. Boxwell 0 for 3 on the day. Strikeout, ground out, fly out. So 2 outs in the top of the ninth here. Tyler Boxwell trying to keep this game alive. First pitch from Wes Judish, and that's bounces in the dirt. Boxwell having to get out of the way of that one. So the count 1-0. The pitch from Judish. That one finds the zone, a called strike. Fastball right down the pipe there. Evens the count up 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 2 down, the pitch. And Boxwell pops that one up in foul ground, sky high. Gunnar Trautwein under it, but cannot make the grab. That would have ended the game, but the Chinooks getting an extra breath of life here. But are 1 strike away from the end of this one. Judith looks to the catcher, Gunnar Troutwine. Troutwine setting up the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's all she wrote here tonight, folks. The final score, 4-0 in favor of the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. The Glacier Pilots with 4 runs on 10 hits. The Chinooks with no runs on 4 hits. Garrett, what are your thoughts?
Well, it just
on today's contest
comes out to the exact same result as 2 nights ago against the Matsu Miners, and it's just no offense, literally none. Only 4 base hits when you allow 4, but tough to win ball games that way when you don't score at all. And very few will you have a chance to win like on a game like this, but comes down to it, it's situational. They had second and third in the 5th inning. Could have been a much different ball game. Second and third with 1 out, following the sack bunt by Holt Davis and Hunter Hanks. Will Bass both went down in order to finish it, and just tough to swallow on games like this when you just can't get anything going whatsoever. But at the same time, Drew Jacobs turning in another stellar performance. His first start of the year, goes out and gets his first win. So he moves to 1-1, 6 innings, a 3-hit baseball, 6 strikeouts. Hats off to Drew Jacobs. He pitched remarkable and silenced the Chinooks offense yet again.
And Shane Armstrong pitching 5 innings of 3-hit ball, no runs allowed. So an impressive outing there today by Shane. But nothing to show for it as the Fish go down 4-0 in this one. We're going to step off, but we'll be right back here tomorrow night as the Chinooks take on the Glacier Pilots here yet again. So the final score, 4-0 Anchorage Glacier Pilots. I am Andrew Alex. He is Garrett Mansfield, and thank you for tuning in tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Go Fish.